Hey everyone, it's time for another Atlas Earth video. I just realized like a couple days ago I promised that I would do this video some time ago, sort of a sequel to a popular video I did regarding the 24 parcels and $100 video I made, and if it was worth it or not and what your rate of return was going to be. So I might as well talk about this, and we're going to talk about this little package right here, the 54,000 Atlas bucks for $2,000, technically $1,999. This is going to be for purely passive income, except boosting, which, unlike ad watching, you'd only have to do for 3-4 times a day anyway. Now, unlike the 2400 one, we are going to have to approach this a little bit differently for 3 reasons. First, unlike my previous video, we get a free 450 Atlas bucks when you sign up with a referral. 250 is given to everyone upon joining, and 200 is once you hit your 10th parcel if you had signed up with a referral. So with the 54,000 Atlas bucks, you will also get that 450 for a total of 54,450. Second, we are going to go over the 150 parcel threshold immediately with this one, and if you remember, that is the point where you will drop in tier and thus drop in earnings. Finally, I promised I'd make this video a good while back, and it kind of got lost in the ether, and since I don't have an Atlas Earth video this week, I thought, why not? Now, please don't think this is some promotion of buying these packages. I personally would always free-to-play if I didn't have this channel, and the only reason that I've paid for Explorer Club is for experimental purposes. And I might keep it because I really like the game. I'm actually kind of on the fence on that as well. Don't see this as financial advice, and please don't use play-to-earn games as investments. With that said, let's get to the math. So, let's assume you get the 450 Atlas bucks, and you have 54,450, and we're going to use the optimal strategy. Now, 50 of the Atlas bucks will be useless since you can't really buy anything for 50 Atlas bucks, so that leaves us with 54,400. Now, with the optimal strategy, you will spend 15,000 on 150 parcels. That will give you about 39,400 left. Next, you will spend 20,200 on 101 badges. So subtract that from 39,400, and now we have 19,200 left. And for the remaining amount, you're going to want to spend it on 192 parcels. Normally, this wouldn't be the best idea, but we now have the super rent boost, leaving us with 342 parcels. Now, we're going to assume that you boost 24/7 like the previous video, even though the average person sleeps 7 hours a night, so at best you're probably going to miss an hour on average. But I did 24/7 on that previous video. I'm going to do 24/7 on this one as well. Now that being said, first I went ahead and did the math on the parcels without the super rent boosts. I started with the unboosted first, so with that, we're going to have 101 badges, which is a 1.25 ratio, a 25% boost. And we come up with $21.30 a year unboosted. And if we divide $19.99 by $21.30, we find about 93.8 years to get $1,999 back. And this is in line with the 100-year talk we heard from others early on when Atlas Earth first came out. I just did this math to confirm it and just get a little bit of a test started on this. Now let's talk about the boost here. Now at 342 parcels, that puts us at the 12x boost here. So we're going to have to just multiply everything by 12. And after showing off my work here, you see that we have about 56 cents a day, or about $255.61 a year. We're going to take $19.99, divide it by that rate, and we got about 7.82 years to get $1,999 back. Now, if you remember from the previous video, it took about a little over 3 years, or maybe a little under 3 years, to get back the money from the 2,400 Atlas bucks, and you're probably wondering what gives here. How come it's taking over twice as long to get your money back? And much of that is because we're going down in boost tiers as you get out of 150 parcels of land. And this continues until you get to the 2x tier at about 1,500 parcels of land. So once you're a whale and you're buying this, this might no longer be a problem. But since we aren't quite at that point yet, we are going to suffer a bit in returns. But let's say that we decided to top off at 290 parcels, which is the max for the tier down, which is 15x. What would happen at that point? Well, let's go ahead and do the math for that now with 290 parcels. And by the way, we are going to basically leave the 5,200 Atlas bucks to get those 52 parcels alone in this case. So you will have that left over. That comes out to about $18.06 a year unboosted, and we can multiply the boost tiers by 15x. And that comes out to about $270.93 a year. And then we divide that over 1999, $1,999, and we get 7.37 years to get our money back. Now, this is without the super rent boost, so we're going to add on that super rent boost bonus, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to multiply it by a particular ratio. How we are going to calculate this ratio, I'm going to take you step by step on how I create this ratio. Now we're going to start by taking our 50x super rent boost. So 50x is basically what you're going to get for your super rent boost regardless of what tier you are. So for that, we're going to multiply our boost tier by that amount to get to 50. So for 15x, for example, we have 50 divided by 15, or 3.333 times more that we get for the super rent boost than we would get normally for a normal boost. For 12x, take 50 divided by 12, and it comes out to 4.167. Now, we are going to be removing our normal boost and replacing it with the super rent boost. So we're going to subtract 1 from both of these ratios. That is our normal boost of 1. And that leaves us with 2.333 and 3.166 boosts, respectively, during the super rent boosts. That's the additional boost that we get from the super rent boosts. So we also know that a standard super rent boost, at least for now, is 32 hours. And we get on average 1.33 SRBs a month, super rent boosts a month, or 16 a year. Now this average might actually go up over time because the last few months we've been getting 2 super rent boosts a month instead of 1. But based on historical data, I'm going with 16 for right now. So 32 times 16 means we will have about 512 hours of super rent boosts a year, or about 21.33 days worth. We'll multiply 21.33 days by our 2.33 and 3.16 boosts for our tiers, and that gives us 49.76 and 67.53 extra days of boosting, respectively. Now we're going to divide them by 365 days in a year to get the additional years that we would get for a super rent boost. And for the 15x tier, that is an additional 0.1363 years. And for the 12x tier, 0.1850 years. So now we have our ratio. We're going to add 1 to that because, again, treat this like sales tax. This is a boost upon it. So we're going to multiply 1.1850 by 255.61 on the 12x tier to get $302.90 a year. And in the 15x tier, we're going to multiply 270.93 by 1.1363, and we get $307.87 a year. The 15x is still slightly the better deal, and we will take $19.99 divided by that to get 6.49 years to get $1,999 back. Again, this is still more than double the $100 parcel package. It seems like once you hit 150 parcels and 101 badges, you actually meet diminishing returns when you have more Atlas bucks. In fact, let's go take the next parcel down, shall we? Right here, the 26,000 Atlas bucks. And let's do the math behind that. All right, so let's get started. We're going to take our 400 additional Atlas bucks. Yes, I know it's 450, but again, 50 Atlas bucks, completely useless in this one. You will buy 150 parcels first, and that will leave you with 11,400 Atlas bucks. Now with the remaining 11,400, you're going to buy 57 badges with our optimal strategy. This would put you 4 badges shy of tier 4, but mostly at tier 3, which will give you a 15% boost, giving you a ratio of 1.15. So we're going to take our 150 parcels. We're going to calculate that unboosted. That is $8.59.5 per year unboosted. And then multiply it by 30x, which gives us $224.22 a year. Multiply it by 1.15, and that gives us $257.85 a year. Now let's do our super rent boost ratio. Take 50 divided by 30, that's 1.67. We're going to subtract 1 because this is a replacement, so that will leave us with a 0.67 boost during the SRB. Multiply this by our 21.33 days worth of super rent boosts, and we get a 14.21 extra days of boosting. Now divide that by 365 days in a year, and we have an additional 0.0389 years in the 30x tier for a super rent boost. So we just simply add 1 to that and multiply it by 257.85 to get $267.88 a year boosted. So we'll take our $999.99, divide it by 267.88, and we have about 3.73 years to get the $1,000 back, which is better than the $2,000 deal, but still worse than the $100 deal, and that's the original $100 deal. So it seems like when you hit the badge phase, you're also seeing diminishing returns on purchases as well. So let's do one without the badges, or at least without the, I should say, without more than one badge, because, of course, 40 parcels, you should get your first badge. And that's going to be the 5,150 Atlas bucks. So let's do the math behind that. This is the last one for this video. You're going to have 5,150 Atlas bucks, add 450. This time we can put the 50 to use to give us 5,600 Atlas bucks. Now, we're going to spend 200 of that on one badge via the optimal strategy. Since we are going to be buying more than 40 parcels, that'll give us a 1.05 ratio, and with the remaining 5,400, we'll buy 54 parcels. And we will keep our 1.0389 super rent boost ratio for the 30x tier. So I went ahead and I calculated the 54 parcels unboosted, and that came out to $2.82 a year. And then I added the 30x boost here, which will get us, with the 1.05 ratio, the 5% boost, $84.75 a year. Now multiply that by our 1.0389 super rent boost for $88.05 a year. Take $199.99, divide that by 88.05, and that will give us about 2.27 years to get our $199.99 back. So, turns out the best deal for a newbie is the $199.99 package deal, and not the ultimate 54,000 Atlas buck deal if you were talking about pure return on investment and the time it will take to get your money back. However, having 300 plus parcels could make you mayor of a decent enough sized city, and it could earn you more passive Atlas bucks that could, over time, get you to the max of that 12x tier. But I'll leave that math to you if you want to use the Atlas Earth calculator for a guesstimation. They don't have the pure expected value of a parcel, so just use the rares. That's almost as good. So this video has enough math as it is, and it's pretty long, so I'm going to call it for this video. Hope you all like it. If you want a copy of the super rent boost ratios for each tier, given the parameters that I have for this video, I'll place it on a comment below, and you can use it to multiply by whatever tier you're at as well. So like, comment, subscribe, and if you aren't part of Atlas Earth, Bridge Money, or Cointoply, I got referral links in the description below. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it, and it also helps out the channel as well, believe it or not. Yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. So see you next time.